Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. This is our Week 9 Best Bets episode for our contest. As always, you guys get our 5 best bets of the week against the spread. Currently, Donnell and I are in the contest, are 2 games under 500. Off to a rough start with a couple really bad beats every single week. We seem to be seconds away from a winning week on these 2 and 3 weeks. We've yet to go 0 and 5. I don't think we've gone 1 and 4. I think we've been 2 and 3.
We literally, that's the floor. 2 and 3 is the floor.
2 and 3, 3 and 2, and a week of 4 and 1. So we are right there. This is a tough slate. Don't overthink it. Back the trends. That's what we're going to do. Before we get into our 5 best bets of the week, let me bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude. Now, welcome back, man.
Yeah, what's going on, my guy? We back after a tremendous, beautiful Hail Mary, I would say. Definitely sunk the damn podcast, which was...
That was a win-win situation.
Yeah, literally a win-win situation, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I was kind of pissed off for a minute, but I was like, you know what? At least we covered it all of a sudden. Holy shit! We done fucking won the game, man. There goes the podcast. So it was really up, down, literally, for the last 2 minutes of the game. But, yeah, bro, I'm trying to break this curse, man, but seems like the curse seems to find us. Like I said, a Hail Mary sunk us right back to that same spot.
I'm not worried about it, dude.
Right.
Keep playing our spots, find our rhythm. It's a long season. For those of you guys who follow us for the entirety of the season, you know the last 3 years we've come out on top and profitable, over 55% the last 3 seasons. So stay the course. The ship will find its path. With that being said, Donnell, let's get right into it.
Let's go.
Leading us off, Donnell. I usually take the first, but it is my honor to hand you the baton for the first pick of the week.
Let's go, baby. Batting lead off for the contest this week. We got my Commanders coming up. I mean, when's the last time we bet my team in the fucking podcast? We have them minus 3.5 against the Giants on the road. Honestly, guys, I mean, we're talking about a game where if you go to the previous game, Jaden Daniels basically sustained 7 scoring drives. The problem was they were all field goals in that game. And a lot of people say, you know, it should have been a closer game because their field goal kicker got hurt on the first play of the game and they couldn't get extra points, yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to tell you what, anytime a quarterback can produce 7 scoring drives on the defense, more than likely, some of those are going to be touchdowns. 2, 3 of those positions are going to be touchdowns. So honestly, instead of a 21 to 18 game, it should have been probably a 35 to 40 18 game. We're talking about a team who has been continuing to be explosive. Even against the Bears all game last week, they were torching that Bears defense. They got down the field. They just couldn't finish. But hey, that's the Bears. They're a good red zone defense, top 5 in the league. And we're going to have a little bit more of a break this week. A little bit more of a break this week with the Giants defense, and their offense can't produce a god diggity damn thing, which is going to make that defense very, very tired throughout the game. I feel like the Commanders were just ground and pound it, and honestly, I got this with being a 6, at least a touch. I think I got this by a touchdown at least.
So the biggest thing for us, like I said in the opening of this episode, was back the trends. Do not overthink it. The Giants are bad. Not only can they find ways to lose games, they cannot win. This team has just really rough to watch. And we've got Jaden Daniels that, although they were kicking field goal after field goal after field goal last week, they were consistently getting into the red zone. And they were just play after play from being a field goal to a touchdown. And that game could have easily been blown off the hinges in the first half. So the Bears made a couple really good stops. They got a couple pressures on Jaden Daniels. He got out of the pocket, and they made him uncomfortable. But the one thing about this Giants team is all their pressure is going to come on the inside and Brian Burns. If they can scheme around Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns, I don't know how they get stops. So this secondary for the Commanders has been... They've been the one weak point that we've all been pointing at, but however, over the last few weeks, they've held their own.
Can't tell.
They've held their own. So, not only are they defending the pass very well, but they're getting pressure on the quarterback. They're stopping the runs up the middle, and it's just a matter of like the Commanders don't let up big explosive plays right now, and that's
Right.
the biggest thing. If you can contain that against the Giants, they are going to struggle to move the ball because between Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors, they don't really have many weapons. So I think the Commanders can make this game ugly. I know it's a divisional game, and I
Right.
know these teams historically play close. This is not your ordinary Commanders team.
Yes, it's
They
not.
got the hot hand. Bet the hot hand. Don't overthink it. Give us the Commanders minus 3.5 with the first pick.
Boy, I thought I would have to pay you to say that. Shit.
It's been a long time since Donnell heard that one.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the second pick of the week. We are going back to the well. You guys know them best. The Cleveland Browns plus 1.5. Again, don't overthink it. We are backing a defense that is phenomenal and a quarterback that can actually move the ball downfield and take shots. You saw it last week. He turned nobodies into somebodies. I mean, these guys are getting picked up in fantasy now because they're putting up points. No Amari Cooper, no problem. Nick Chubb is still there to maintain the workload, take the pressure off Jameis, and that defense gets stops. That defense doesn't let up explosive plays. That defense gets pressure on the quarterback. You've got Justin Herbert, who actually already started the year off kind of injured. Joey Bosa is banged up. He's taking plays off in the middle of drives. Like, he's questionable. I'm sure he's going to play, but he's not going to be to his full effect. This Browns team is going to play this close. This is going to be an ugly game, but the one thing that I told Donnell, if they can contain J.K. Dobbins and pretty much contain him to the point where he just cannot get going, it's going to force Justin Herbert to throw the ball a lot more. And when you force Justin Herbert to throw the ball a lot more, he doesn't have the best skill guys. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are not there. He's relying on a really good route runner, Ladd McConkey, but however, he's not going to be eating on Denzel Ward. He's just not going to. Ward has been playing an incredible season to start, and if that's how we're going to lose is to Ladd McConkey, I'll take my chances. So
Damn right.
I like the Browns. I think their defense holds. What did I miss, Dino?
Yeah, man, you didn't miss much. Like you said, we got my man famous Jameis back, bro, and he is able to push the ball down the field. I'm willing to take maybe 1 to 2 turnovers. Well, honestly, I'm not taking it because I dealt with that with Deshaun Watson anyway. I'm willing to take a couple turnovers if I'm able to push the ball downfield. I mean, he did it. I mean, he did what he's supposed to do. Expose a good, terrible Ravens secondary right now. He's still looking to get their way back. And honestly, against a good Chargers defense, I expect him to still be able to push his ball downfield. Honestly, if you look at it, if you limit J.K. Dobbins, the Chargers offense is very, very remedial. Like, it's very, very watered down. And Jim Harbaugh makes his living off of defense. He's seen it in Michigan. You seen it in Michigan literally a couple years ago. And you also seen it when he played for the 49ers as well. You know, he had a man like Kaepernick that produced a lot of that offense. So it's going to be a defensive onslaught. And I'm going to take my chances with famous Jameis being able to push the ball down the field. Easy.
Before we get to the third pick, we need to stop you guys for a second.
Okay. We got.
There was a game last week where I got a DM, got called pretty much said called stupid, okay? I didn't respond.
Word.
Didn't respond. It was right after we aired the episode. He said, "You must be out of your fucking mind if you think the Browns are beating the Ravens."
Oh, you know what's crazy? I know who you're talking about now. I think I know who you're talking about.
I said, Browns are going to win. I said this and I laid it out on the platter. I said, listen, I know you guys are going to love your money line parlays. I know you're going to put your Ravens in your teasers. Don't do it.
He said
this
it.
Browns team has been the antidote for the Ravens. Jameis Winston, I said, and I quote, Dino, would you be surprised if Jameis Winston throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and beats the Ravens? He says,
I said no.
Dude, I wouldn't.
I said no.
And they did, to the T, the exact. I mean, we hit that game on the head. That's probably one of our best reads of the season.
Oh, yeah.
I just had to say that. So before you guys come disagree, listen, I know we're not having the greatest year. But when we say bold things like that, and I kind of go out on a limb and explain it, I'm not just doing it, for the luck. I'm doing it because I'm actually seeing something. I'm trying to help you out. So don't be pissed off at me because you put the Ravens in your 17-leg parlay and they cost you. But the fact of the matter is, be smart. Listen, we're right every once in a while. That's all I wanted to say. So rant is over. Off this page. Let's go to the. What did you say?
Man, I said, look, you even saw in the episode last week on the Thursday night episode. I told you, I said Jameis will throw for 2 touchdowns under my breath, right then and there. I'm telling you guys, bro, it was set up to be that. It was really set up for them to win that game. Honestly,
football is a crazy thing, man. Sometimes you can see right through it.
Right.
That's enough of that. Third pick of the week. Let's go down to the Saints. Derek Carr returning. We're getting the Saints at -6.5 against the awful Panthers. Dino sent me something the other day. It's like the Panthers let up like 21 points in the first half.
22.
22 points in the first half. That might be all the Saints need to cover.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Once he sent me that text, we saw Derek Carr was back. Bryce Young is starting for the Panthers. I mean, we're not having the Andy Dalton. Like, it's back to what we were looking at the beginning of the season and last year. This Panthers team is just awful. They're traded away their number one receiver. Adam Thielen is still hurt. They're looking to auction off the defense like a hot sale. This team is not interested in winning. It's not.
Right.
Bryce Young is their quarterback. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to get sacked. He's going to turn the ball over. And you're going against a Saints team that's getting to the point of desperation. Alvin Kamara is still being the workhorse. Chris Olave was still finding himself open last week. And the one thing I can say is we've got our quarterback back, okay? Right. We're actually going to put up points. And if you guys remember, at the beginning of the year, people were like, holy shit, the Saints are for real. For the first 3 weeks, they were whooping everybody's ass. They should have beat the Eagles. Luckily, they didn't. But they were pretty much whooping everybody's ass. They were putting up points like we've never seen before. Especially the first week of the year. We're like, what the hell? Derek Carr just threw for like 300 yards, 3 or 4 touchdowns. We're like, who the hell is this guy?
Right.
He's back. So we're getting a discounted number. Realistically, this should probably be 8.5. If this was week 2 or week 3 of the season after the Saints were just rolling, this number would be 8.5, no doubt. The Panthers are awful. They just lost their most explosive playmaker. There's nothing to look at this game and say, I think the Panthers keep this close. Because like Donnell sent me a text, if the Saints scored 22 points in the first half, they could probably go home and cover the game. That's all I'm going to say. I just don't see a way that the Panthers keep this game competitive, especially if they go down and you're going to make Bryce Young throw the ball even more. That works to our advantage. So
exactly.
I like the Saints, Dino. What else?
I mean, like you said, they're selling. They're literally selling. And I ain't gonna lie to you. If I'm selling, why am I going to sell and then basically try to make my value worse? Right now, they're trying to lose. First thing first, I'm not selling on the deadline for me to win games. At this point, it's done. It's over. Hang it up. And honestly, they might be in the running for a quarterback in the first round again, which is sad to say because they didn't give Bryce Young not one chance. To be honest with you, he has never had a chance since he stepped foot in there. So let's put it like that. What it is. I mean, I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. I mean, they gave up, bro. Like I said, it's like I sent them 22 points per in the first half. They give up 22 points in the first half. And yes, there's no Shaheed. Yeah, I understand there's no. I think Olave's still hurt, or maybe Olave's coming back. But
he's back.
They still Olave's back, and I got Kamara back there. At the end of the day, man, this should be a blowout. Yeah, all we literally need is the Saints to do the same thing what other teams have been doing to the Panthers, and that's score in the first half, and then just relax because everything else will take care of itself.
That's right. Donnell, give the viewers the 4th pick of the week.
The 4th pick. Oh, man. Y'all going to like this because Jared has a little romance with this team, man. He just loves this team. And honestly, I don't blame him. I mean, he had a great head coach from the Commander system, which also means it's the Rams, as people in the podcast already know. -1.5 versus the Seattle Seahawks. And you know what? I'm going to keep it short, and I'm going to let you kind of ramble on because you got romance with this team. I'm just going to say this for the one time. The Seattle Seahawks lost to the Giants 26-22 weeks ago. That's really mainly all I really need to say. I've never been high on the Seahawks whatsoever. I said when they got to that hot start, expect this thing to finally extinguish. The fact that the Cardinals are first in their division lets you know everything right now, what's going on right now. And yes, the Rams have dealt with injuries throughout early in the year, but they got Cooper Kupp back. As you can see, with Cooper Kupp back, the offense is finally starting to move the ball down the field along with Kyren Williams. And last time I checked, Seattle's run defense is god awful. It's bad. Their defense in general. You said what?
Bottom 5.
Bottom 5. And their head coach is a former defensive coordinator. So yeah, that tells you a lot what you need to know, guys. Don't overthink it right here. You got, like I said, you got Kupp on your side, you got Kyren Williams on your side. Honestly, I can see this Rams team going on a run. They actually have a chance to win this division, and right now, I would not be surprised if they went on and took the lead this week after a Cardinals loss this week.
Yeah, I'll start off by saying this. We got the Cardinals 14-1 to win the division. Looking like we got a shot. Obviously, you're going to have an opportunity to hedge out if they keep playing this well. That'll be another later discussion in the rest later in the season. For those of you guys who took that bet with me. But to this Rams team, there is 2 things about this Rams team that we always like. Number 1, the quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Number 2, the head coach. And actually, number 3, they get better as the season goes on. Okay?
Every year.
Everybody thinks the Rams are dead, and what do? They sneak into that wild card spot. They're beating the Niners in the last game of the season to have a chance at the wild card or even in the division. Like they're always there. They have the pedigree. And if there's a handful of quarterbacks where they can walk into Seattle and not be fazed by the 12th man.
Right.
It doesn't exist to Matthew Stafford. The guy has went to Detroit and balled out, and where he has an emotional connection to. He doesn't care about the Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to establish the run. Kyren Williams is going to run down the Seahawks' throat. And what do the Seahawks do when they're getting ran on? They get desperate. You saw it versus the Giants. They were running the ball with no problem. Tracy or whatever his name is. Tyrone Tracy was a problem.
A dog.
And what do? They start being too aggressive. They start loading the box, and then Daniel Jones all of a sudden hits a couple play action passes, and the game's over. Like they get greedy on defense. And listen, I know we have a defensive coach in Seattle, but I'm sorry, dude. The defense is not it. No. They can't stop a cold. And if Kyren Williams goes out there and establishes the run from the jump, it's over. Because we've seen time and time again Geno Smith throwing the ball 50, 55, 52 times, and he's got like 20 completions. His number 1 weapon is not playing this week. DK Metcalf is out. Noah Fant out. Like he's got an old Tyler Lockett who wasn't even getting targets last week. It's really going to be Jackson Smith-Njigba over in the slot, and that's not going to win you the game. So Kenneth Walker, is he good in the red zone? Absolutely. He's one of the best running backs in the red zone if you want to get him for a touchdown. However, between the hashes, between the 20 to the 20, the guy he doesn't have explosive plays.
None.
This Rams defense has been impressive. We saw it last week versus the Vikings. I don't expect that to regress at all. I actually expect them to get better. They're getting healthier. They've got their dual-headed monster with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back. There's just too many options for this Rams team. I think this number should be 3.5. We're getting it at 1.5.
Right.
I love the Rams this week. We're not going to overthink it. Give us the Rams.
All right.
Donnell, take us home.
For the last pick, y'all gonna like this one because we usually like them Lions and Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, but we're gonna go the opposite side here. We're gonna ride with the Packers being a 3.5 home dog here going against the Lions, and I don't need to say anything else. We talk about it and we harp on it all the time. When Jared Goff plays in the dome, he's great. He's good. When he's outside, that shit changes. He's out in Lambeau, and this is going to be a tough environment for him now. I think he got the better of him the last couple of times they played in Lambeau. I think Jared Goff was. I don't think Jared Goff was really doing much, really playing much. But this year is a little bit of a different year. Jordan Love is looking to lead this team to a division winner. They finally have a chance here to solidify themselves this week, and this is a big, big, big week for them to go ahead and make that happen. The Packers defense, granted, I guess showed some regression last week against the Jags, but as you've seen, Trevor Lawrence finally came to life a little bit and got to push the ball downfield. And to be honest with you, like I said, when I got a quarterback who is taken out of his element, playing inside taking a fish outside the fishbowl, and he's not playing as well, I mean, you could really limit that Lions offense. I really feel like the Packers have a chance at home. It's going to be rainy. Like I said, this is one of those games where I feel like this is the letdown spot for the Lions. They probably play them at home and get back then, but I don't see them. Honestly, I don't see them winning this game today.
Yeah, I really like this Packers spot, 3.5 in the division. This is the spots that Donnell and I play. Two competitive teams, two teams that are going to be trying to get into the playoffs. I mean, the Packers know they have to split the series with the Lions.
The Lions, yep.
And winning at home, step one, make it easy on themselves. But Aiden Hutchinson not being on the Lions right now is
it's been Achilles' heel.
They're not getting as much pressure.
Mm-hmm.
What's been really ramped up for the Lions is their special teams, and you saw it last week. Jared Goff had like 28 passing yards, and they had like 35 points.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a really good special team. They have a really good defense, but this Packers team is the ultimate Achilles heel for the Lions because of this. The Lions like when teams play fast. They like when teams throw the ball downfield. They like when teams take shots. But the Packers are extremely disciplined. Matt LaFleur knows that in order to beat good teams, you have to slow the game down. So what do? They rely on Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs gets going. He gets first downs. And what does that do? It opens up the play action.
Mm-hmm.
Jayden Reed has been such an X factor. And even Wicks,
sir.
Romeo Dobbs has been making incredible
sir.
catches. Like this young receiving core. I mean, and we're not even talking about Christian Watson. I mean, he's having a down year, but that's because everybody else has been stepping up in his spot. Mm-hmm. So you've got, I mean, they're not a three-headed monster, but these guys have so much potential. And when Jayden Reed has taken a lot of the pressure off of these other guys, they're getting better matchups in the secondary. It just looks a lot easier for them. They're going to move the ball downfield. And now I got Jameson Williams, who's going to be missing this game. And we've known he's been one of the most explosive slot receivers to start this year. He's out for this game. So this is a big miss. It's going to be Amon-Ra. It's going to be Sam Laporta. And as long as they can contain those two, they're going to have issues. And I know they have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, but this front for the Packers has been playing above water right now. Like, they're playing above their heads. I expect them to slow the running game down. The one thing I will say, Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield for pass catching is what makes me the most worried. So that's one thing I will live with. Xavier McKinney, he's got 6 picks this year.
Dog.
He's all over the backfield, or he's all over the secondary. So I expect them to limit explosives. I expect the Packers to win the time of possession battle, and this game shouldn't be more than 3. Like, 2.5, you can start saying the value might be on the lines, but we know this game's probably going to come down to the last possession, whoever has the ball, and we're going to take the points because it's going to probably be a 3-point game either way. Give us the field goal in the hook any day of the week. Give us the Packers.
Hey, and definitely an underdog round robin play today too, man. Definitely put that in those lineups, bro. You might actually come up profitable definitely after this game.
Yeah, 100%. So that wraps it up. We've got the Commanders minus 3.5, Browns plus 1.5, Saints minus 6.5, Rams minus 1.5, and the Packers on prime time to wrap it up. This has been our Week 9 Best Bets episode. Donnell, any last words for the viewers?
Same message as all times, knuckleheads. Make sure you guys tune into tune into us on X at @ShredTheSpread_, and make sure you follow me at Dyneezy, Dyneezy. Like I said, stay tuned in live. Injuries happen, things happen. We might come up with a prop that we might like that you guys might want to play in for these for your parlays and stuff like that. So definitely tune into us on X. And hey, it's the same episode as all time. And go Commanders. You on the roll.
Yeah, go Commanders for sure. We got them in the contest this week. Let's do it. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back 50-50 on these Thursday night episodes.
Yeah.
I apologize. Kind of be getting a little wishy-washy because of work and schedule and stuff. But you guys will always get our 5 best episodes every week on Friday. But pay attention to us, like Dynel said. Follow us on X at @ShredTheSpread_. We'll keep you updated on everything so you won't miss out. That's all. So, by the way, before you guys go DMing somebody. No, let me stop. Thanks again for watching the Shred the Spread podcast. Until next week, we'll see you.
Peace.